Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Well, still under the weather. Brother tried to do some stuff, and yeah, shouldn't have. Should have just made sure I got well first. So hey, I'm gonna be relaxing. Definitely gonna cut down on this stuff for a minute. Now we have to talk about things that we've seen in boxing. The biggest news of this week has to be the Showtime entertainment. Showtime is basically out of boxing. Those who have followed it for a while know that this is huge. We had this about 2 years ago with HBO boxing. These are mainstays, institutions in boxing that are up out of here now. Not going to be a part of boxing anymore, which is very, very sad regardless, right? We know when you're into boxing, you see that we understand why HBO basically went out of business, Showtime and stuff like that. And it's not good for the sport. You got boxers out there that's handling their business. But there's reasons for it, right? And it's because of how the boxing fans let things get away, how they're trying to present boxing to us, right? And it's a lot of things that just backfires, right? People only think about one step forward. They don't think about the future. And I hate to be, honest about things, but you know how we roll here, but basically not going to have too many heroes, right? And I'll get into what kind of heroes we're not going to have. And through this vigorous community, I would say, people who are really vigorously trying to make sure that we don't have certain kind of fighters that are heroes. You're doing a lot of things that even cost yourselves money to not have it, and it's just backfiring in your face. Let me start with Canelo. Canelo Alvarez is one of the reasons why boxing is going to be going out of business. And it's not Canelo Alvarez himself. It's like the Canelo Alvarez movement. It's really not him. When Canelo Alvarez started boxing, I loved the guy, and I used to think he get a bad rap. And I thought the things that were being done with Canelo Alvarez, I wasn't blaming him personally. I was blaming Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya and stuff. Like, why y'all doing that, man? He'll fight this guy. He'll do this. I just thought it was them trying to protect them, like they do there. And but after he left Golden Boy, I seen the same type of behavior. And I can, sorry, Oscar De La Hoya was also Canelo himself. Now, why would Canelo be a reason why boxing would be going down? It's because I've just watched how we just give him all the money, right? And his adversaries, his other fighters, only a small little fraction, and we just keep giving him the money, right? All of it, right? And everyone else can't have any. He's fighting for who knows how many digits, 8 for show, for longest, on fights that if you ask yourself, if you're not a real, like a Canelo fanatic, just a Canelo fan, and you're saying who you want Canelo to fight for the last 5 or 6 years, have you got one fight that you were like, I really wanted that one? You'd probably have to go back to Golovkin, and that took forever. Remember that. When they forced Canelo to fight Golovkin, he gave the WBC the belt, threw it away. Don't be forcing me to fight. So he wasn't really and for me, it's been forever. I haven't ever seen a Canelo fight I was looking for. Because I wasn't even looking for Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather, right? So he's never fought anybody I particularly wanted. You know what I mean? So when I look at that, I'm like, okay, he can get away with it. But while he's not fighting people that you want to see him fight, he's making all of the money. Excuse me, under the weather again. And so, big time people. Now, let's just make sure. Let me say a few things. When Canelo went to the Zone, he got a contract for 10 fight contract for $365 million, right? At the Zone at the time was Gennady Golovkin, and then Demise Andrade came to the Zone, and Jaime Munguia and stuff like that, right? So they allowed him to fight fights that they didn't really want him to fight, right? But still was giving him the 8 figures, right? When they decided to ask him to fight someone hard, and I'm going to say the name Andrade because he was at the Zone, so that's what happened behind closed doors, he was able to say, no, I'm not doing that. And I'll get out of this contract if you force me to do that. You understand? And but they still, kept throwing him all of the money. Now, when Canelo was at 154 pounds and he became the mandatory for Demetrius Andrade, what did they do? They blackballed Andrade and then made him, give up his titles because he couldn't get fights. But if you're mandatory, won't fight you, what happens? So they blackballed him. He took his title away and then gave it to Liam Smith, and then Canelo fights him. When Canelo was doped, he was able to say it was Mexican meat. Nothing happened, right? When Canelo got a hard mandatory fighter in the middleweight division, when he went up to 160, well, Jamal Charlo took 3 interim fights, which was too many. But after a while, they said, okay, well, Canelo will give you something new, a franchise title. And how devious is that? To just make something up. Instead of say, well, Canelo, if you don't want to fight him, we're stripping you and you can do whatever you want. No, we'll make something up and call you better than that guy. And then tell that guy he can't fight for that new belt we made. And people are okay with that. The whole industry, remember, no one was complaining from mainstream media. It was only people on the internet complaining about the franchise title. They were starting to say franchise title like it's been there forever with no definition, right? So you're Canelo. You're seeing them do this for you. Then what do you turn into? You understand? Then you go up to 168 pounds, and then they give you the WBC title instead of making you fight for it, right? Now, for me, the one that irks me the most is to watch the whole boxing community ignore a middleweight undisputed fight between Canelo Alvarez and Demetrius Andrade. Would have been the biggest fight in the last 4 or 5 years. Would have. Because even then, when it was worth $40 million for Canelo. Another 8-figure payday. But he didn't have to take that one. You know why? He was able to get $35 million for fighting Kovalev, who just looked ridiculous against Anthony Yard. Not ridiculous, but he was in a barn burner of a fight, almost got stopped, barely won, and then they waited. Canelo even said, I'm not going to fight in September. I'll wait for him to November, give him 6 weeks, to recover. I think it's 8 weeks to recover and fight me. Instead of an undisputed fight now, undisputed middleweight fight, and then we're supposed to be okay with him going up to the super middleweight division, given one title, and fight lesser opponents. Yeah, they're all lesser. Billy Joe Saunders is lesser. Callum Smith is lesser. Caleb Plant is lesser. That's all lesser. No slight, but we're being honest here. Lesser than Demetrius Andrade. Okay? Especially, we're talking a few years back. He was a bit younger, 30, maybe. So damn sure lesser, because they still calling a 50-50 fight with Demetrius Andrade, who is got to move up in the division to fight David Benavidez. Some think he has a shot of beating him. You know what I mean? So that's lesser. But for undisputed, and it's not about Canelo. It's about how did the whole boxing industry not mention an undisputed middleweight fight and give Canelo the fault for not doing so? So since he saw that he was able to do that, what does he turn into? And yes, they're capable of doing things like this. Those are the same people that had racist emails going from Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy to Ring Magazine, 2 huge entities in the boxing community. Those are the same people who had no black fighters on the chalkboard of Bob Arum in Top Rank, which is a huge entity in the boxing. They never had to excuse themselves for that or apologize for it. So they're capable, is what I'm saying, to have meetings saying, damn it, what I mean to say is we're not going to have no black heroes if we can do anything about it. And I'm talking about literal meetings. I'm not talking about me saying something I think it happened. Literal. Because if you can say nigga a whole bunch of times in the email from Ring Magazine, the Boxing Bible, and Oscar De La Hoya's outfit there, Golden Boy, then you know what you're talking about behind closed doors. So we're actively not going to let this Andrade get close to it, the Canelo for undisputed, because he's going to win, and then we got an undisputed black hero. We can't have it. If we have anything to say about it. So we're sitting here watching that, right? So when you're looking at entities like HBO had to go out of business, right? Because they kept trying to give us other heroes, refused to, give us the heroes that were actually doing what's happening, just kept picking people from any part of the world, to putting them number one pound for pound, trying to tell us this, and then not letting them fight these brothers from America or anywhere, or Cuba, right? And then after a while, you're losing your money, right? The Zone still has some money, but they just threw it away for Canelo. Instead of saying, you know something, we know by being behind closed doors in negotiations that Canelo, Jaime Munguia, and Gennady Golovkin has told us they were going to refuse to fight Demetrius Andrade. So we're going to put our money in Demetrius Andrade and tell the world what is happening. So Demetrius Andrade's the star here. We promote him as such, and anybody who wants to get froggy, come get it. But no, we'd rather just tell you that these other guys are something and let this dude call him a horrible fighter on national TV. Right? So we're supposed to watch that and act like we're not seeing it. Showtime just signed Canelo or whatever, PBC or whatever. They go to Showtime, and Canelo's still getting all the money. And we're just saying, like, and I'm telling you, hardcore boxing fans are not even paying for his fights for years. Because we know what time it is. I'm not paying for a Canelo fight unless it's somebody I want to see. I'm not, you're not going to ignore what I want and then give me something else constantly. And from egregious reasons and stuff. And I'm supposed to say, I'm going to watch that, We don't have to. It's too much stuff. Too many other sports. I told you how we roll. And, just give us the heroes. There are a lot of heroes of color in America who we just decide not to do. We decide not to put them as heroes. And the Mexican fighters, they have other rules. How many Mexican fighters been told to fight eliminator fights? Say no. How many Mexican fighters are mandatories and just say, oh, that my champion is too hard. I'm not going to do it. Canelo Alvarez with Demetrius Andrade, Jaime Munguia with Demetrius Andrade and Charlo, Isaac Cruz with Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda with Shakur Stevenson, Jose Ramirez with Regis Prograis. Right? Just we're not doing none of that. You know why? Because we really don't have to. Our promotion company and you fans help us do that. And just ignore what we're supposed to do. And when you continue to do this over time, then what will happen is you will end up losing money. Right? And it's just very simple. We could have had a whole bunch of heroes. Every time someone of color does something awesome, they're booed. Devin Haney should be a hero. Demetrius Andrade should be a hero. Terrence Crawford should be a hero. Right? He's just now getting his props. But I'm just going to tell you this. If Errol Spence was Mexican, that fight wouldn't have happened. And if you got, I said Deontay Wilder, So, people act like we don't like, knockouts. We say we like knockouts, right? But when it comes to people of color, they'll figure out a way to call your fighting style boring or not fan-friendly. Those are words you hear, fan-friendly and boring. But a black person doesn't have a fan-friendly style. If Deontay Wilder's is not fan-friendly, then I don't know, right? Give me someone that's never fan-friendly. They'll tell you Demetrius Andrade is not fan-friendly. Have you ever watched him really fight? So who the hell is fan-friendly if that's not? I'm avoiding punches and punches the hell out of everyone from day one. But it's not fan-friendly because fan-friendly means BTBG, beat the black guy. We're watching TV, boxing to see his face get bashed in. And if he's moving and not letting his face get bashed in, it's not fan-friendly. And let's just be real. And boxing getting on my damn nerves. And don't act like America is not capable. Because people trample on our Constitution right now. The election was wrong, right? We going down here on the Capitol, right? Did we have to see Mike Pence be hanged? Or Nancy Pelosi, 80-year-old people being hanged first before we realize what's going on? But we'll tell other countries there's terrorists. We'll tell other countries you're Nazis. Got enough of them in America. Terrorists, those are terrorists. A terrorist is someone who forces their ideology on you with force, sometimes lethal force. That's what a terrorist is. Terrorist doesn't mean I gotta have a long beard and say Allah Akbar. That's not what a terrorist is. A terrorist is that. So we have them here. So at the end of the day, America's capable. So they do it in boxing and lose money. Would rather lose money than just have simply the champions who are the champions and the heroes are the heroes. So yes, Showtime's out of business. They're probably gonna PBC and them gonna probably run the zone. But if you the zone, I just gave you what they did. We're gonna give all our money to Canelo. We're gonna let Janai Golovkin have a part of the business. Matter of fact, right? Demetrius Andrade there, we can't give him nothing. When he wins a fight, we ain't gonna even say the names Canelo. We ain't gonna say the name Demetrius Andrade, Canelo, or Janai Golovkin, or Jaime Munguia. We gonna start talking about Jamal Charlo, and he's on the other side of the street at PBC somewhere. So this is what we have to deal with. So when I'm looking at Showtime and HBO going out of business, I know what time it is. Bottom line is more people, everyone, if you got contacts in the mainstream media, get it together. Make them, force them to talk about the truth, right? Have some integrity, talk about the truth, and boxing will survive. But you know something, boxing fans, if that's what you are, there's simply some good black boxers and they're doing some awesome things. That's not the only awesome boxers. Shoot, come on now. Y'all know I rode with some Alexander Usyk, legend, and others. Dimitri Bivol, I'm telling y'all now. Dimitri Bivol, the truth. Running around here, the truth. Fan friendly or whatever. He ain't getting hit that much, but he hitting you, right? Got all kind of fighters that are good. But America just won't embrace what they have because we're still, after years of how America has been built on slavery and this and that, we still have the same scumbags that's still running around with hate in them. And will do this. And it's not for, people try to act like, oh, it's just the Hicks down south and, that's how it is. No. Learned, educated people in positions of power are doing this on purpose. So, and that's why boxing damn near gonna go out of business, and Canelo has a lot to do with it. And remember what I said at the top. When I say Canelo, it's the movement of Canelo. It's not him, because people go as far as you let them, right? And Canelo has developed into this personality because, we let him. Now, before I sign off, I just want to make sure this is clear. Canelo is an awesome fighter, got great attributes in the ring. Now, he has a great chin, but a lot of times he's fighting people lighter than him, but his chin is good, upper body is good, the way he goes to the body is good, ring generalship is good. He's a great fighter, but we're exalting him way too much over the fighters without having to prove anything. And I did not even mention all of the fights with controversy that he's had. All of the scoring, which was totally egregious. Didn't even really mention that. I'm just saying, in order to get boxing together, people gonna have to come together. In order to get America together, people gonna have to come together. Don't happen. Boxing, yeah, it's gonna constantly just keep moving somewhere else and go out of business if we're gonna have the same agenda. Y'all understand? Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, and I'm up out of here, y'all.